Let's make a binding for the quilt. So, hey everyone, let's get started. This green fabric, let's take a moment for it because it is absolutely gorgeous. I love this. We need to start with some measurements. I measured the quilt and the length and the width ended up being 69 inches by 82 inches, length and width. I did measure all the way around just in case I was a little off, and I wasn't. So I'll multiply these by 2 in order to get my product. Once I've determined the product, and I just did it by hand because nobody had time to find a calculator, I then found the sum, which was 302 inches. The entire perimeter of the quilt was 302 inches. The width of the fabric is 42 inches wide. I went with 40 because why do a lot of math when you don't have to? I rounded everything up and I came up with 8 strips. That would give me about 320 inches, which is perfect for this because it gives me a little wiggle room to do those overlaps and everything else that I will need. So I need 8. I folded my fabric in half, so that way I'm cutting 2 strips at a time. So that's only 4 cuts. And I lined everything up with my mat. This is going to make life a lot easier. I use my mat and I use the ruler. I laid the ruler down and I cut each strip out. Each strip was 2.5 inches. After all my strips were cut out, it was time to assemble them. Taking 2 strips, I make a 90-degree angle and then use a ruler to mark a line from corner to corner. And then I use a pin to hold it in place. And that's just so that when I take it to the machine, I don't wiggle it off a little bit and it doesn't get janky on me. After everything was done, I then pulled out my machine and it was time to stitch. Using my needle in the down position, I just stitched right over that line that I drew. To make life a lot easier, I chain stitch whenever possible. I just think that it's an easier process. I don't have to worry about using as much thread because I'm just feeding one after the other right through my machine. Once it's finished, I have something that looks like this and I just snip all of that apart. Real quick, real simple, real easy. There are gadgets you can use, but I don't have those. Once that's done, all I need to do is trim off all that excess, and I need to make sure I'm cutting on the right side of the line. Otherwise, I will be doing this again. You take your seams, and I like to press them open. So I start with a good finger press to press them open before I will take them to my iron and give it a really good press. And then we'll fold them in half like that, wrong sides together. So again, starting at one edge of the strip, we'll take our iron and we're just going to press until the entire strip is folded in half and pressed nice and neatly. And here's the binding. This binding is done and it is ready to attach to the quilt. Stay tuned. I may do another video for that.